You're watching Chaotic TV.
Hey folks, welcome back to Chaotic TV. We're bringing you Game 2 of the MouseSports versus Quantic team battle from Week 1 of the TeamStory Cup by Acer. In the top right we have the winner of Game 1, the Korean Terran, the blue Terran. He is Quantic Gaming's Apocalypse. His opponent in the bottom left, on Whirlwind, we have the green Zerg playing for Team MouseSports, the Swedish player. It is Mouse's Hope. Now, what we saw from the last game was kind of wonky because I think hOp's a bit through it when he went super tech greedy, or he was just indecisive when it came to his teching path. You kind of have to decide what you're going to do early and then figure out your tech switches later. You can't do them before you've actually fully developed your tech. And we have a very early scout from our Zerg player. As I said, Hope is from Sweden and Apocalypse is from Korea. So, speaking of Sweden, we have the DreamHack Open coming out pretty soon. Very early scout. He's probably going to see if Apocalypse is going to be doing any kind of proxy, but what we're not seeing right now is a proxy. We're seeing very safe play from back home. He's probably going to wall off just in case there's a temple coming directly across the map. I don't know if they're using forced cross spawns on Whirlwind because it is the largest map, and we do actually have a 15 hatch actually coming down because he sent that scout out. It's essentially a 14 hatch with a scout. Now, is he going to see this Overlord? No, he's not. But he did check to see that there was no hatchery already. He probably assumed that there is going to be a hatchery coming from the Zerg player first before he ever gets a pool. He's actually going up to 16 drones before he gets that pool. Well, he did just get it. And we're going to see another Overlord come out pretty soon. It's a very standard play. The Reaper Scout from Apocalypse worked well for him in the last game. He was able to scout out all of hOp's tech, and maybe that's why hOp went for a different tech path afterwards. And now we see that he's scouting both the close locations, telling him that there is that the Terran is farther out, and this is actually a very late scout. By the time he gets to Apocalypse's base, there could have been a pretty decent 2 racks force coming out, five or six drone Marines that are about to head across the map at about, not necessarily his timing, but we do see another factory coming down. And had he gone gasless into 2 racks and just gone straight Marines, it could have been pretty devastating. Pre-Queens, and even with a couple of Zerglings, if you can match them into the corner, like right here, or up here, or even way back here, and getting on the high ground against the Zerglings that pop out of the second base, the 2 racks Marines attack could have done pretty well. But we do see very standard play coming out of this. He's going to lose at least 1 drone. Ooh, actually that's pretty good micro, having them attack, but he's got the Zerglings out now. He is going to lose that 1 drone, and is the Reaper going to get away? The Zerglings do not have speed yet. There's just about to get 100 gas, and it looks like he is going to be able to recover enough for at least taking 1 hit. Some great Zergling zoning, if you can see that. He's able to hop out before any Zerglings get attacking at him, and a Queen right now is trying to chase him, but he's not going to be able to get there, and now they're creep. And the Reaper's going to go home, or at least far enough away, probably to this Zamaga watchtower, so he can take in and reserve some of that health that he's missing. He's already back up to full health. You can just see how Reapers do recover that very quickly, which is why Mass Reaper openings are very popular against, or not popular, but, and not Mass Reapers, but a couple of Reapers. 2 racks Reapers, that's what I'm trying to say, are pretty popular against Protoss players because they don't have these early Zerglings and the ability to produce enough excuse me, that have the ability to zone out those Reapers. As you saw, he was able to keep them all the way over here and away from the drones. Because Protoss, if they go for any kind of expansion before they get that Stalker, the Reapers do a heck of a lot of damage because Zealots are just way too slow to catch them. And we do see Zergling speed is getting close to finishing for our Zerg player from Sweden. We have a third command center coming down for our Terran player. He's going to go for that heavy economy style. He's going for Hellions to keep out map control and to allow himself to do this 3 racks Reaper, the 3 racks play. Excuse me, 3 command center. It's been a while since it's been about a week since I played. I was on a pretty devastating losing streak. Ooh, that's a great little micro right there, and not so much micro from the Zerg player getting around quick enough. He could have probably saved all of those Zerglings instead of just the two that he lost. But yes, I am on a very harsh losing streak. I got demoted to gold before they took out the demotions, and yeah, essentially I've been one of the projects I've been working on is that's great. Going to be a great bait for the Widowmine. He knows that there was probably at least one, or at least he could guess. But these Hellions are more than a match for 4 Zerglings coming out. And now the Zerglings, the rest of them are scared, and they're just going to hold that map presence while this third hatchery gets up, and he drones up all the way to 71 probably before building a huge amount of roaches and hydras, because he's going for that macro hatch already. Very greedy play coming out of our Swedish player, and I hope it works out for him. We have a bunker coming down. He's probably expecting something in a couple of minutes. It's going to be a little while though before even 4 hatcheries are able to do some serious damage. A couple speedlings coming around, going to do some pressure. Yeah, he still knows. Yeah, he knows where he is, but he's definitely going around the Zelnaga watchtowers viewing, and he's going to see all those Hellions coming back around. He's going to pull all his Zerglings, and he's either going to try to pressure the Terran base just so that the Hellions come back, but he's going to see that there's a brand new almost wall coming out, and these Hellions are going to cook up any drones that are available here. They could even take out that Queen if they so chose. If he had that transformation, which is possible by 9 minutes. Oh, the Zerglings got through. They got away from that. Oh, that is just a shame. How many were lost in that great wall off right there? Wow, I did not realize that he was doing that many kills. He's sitting there, he tries to take out 2, 3 more. Wow. Wow, that is a heck of a lot of damage from the Zerg player. He's going to be able to try to take out a couple of these, 2 of these Spidey posts, but the Marines and the tech coming back through. Now we can see how many were killed on the by the Terran. Oh, 9, but it's going to be a great surround with this many Zerglings. He's going to kill a whole lot of them, and this Banshee's going to do a bit of damage too. But the Hellions will actually all get cleaned up. And it looks like the Banshee is going to have free reign when it comes to this hatchery. Might even be able to take it out if... Oh, not before these Spore Crawlers come out. Great way to save the drones is to tell them to become Spore Crawlers. And finally, all of the Zerglings are cleaned up in the Terran base. The workers killed is even up. It's actually not too bad, but if we look at the units lost, we're seeing a little bit more in the Zerg's favor having lost. It's probably just from all of those Zerglings. And the Hellions did as much damage as they could before they died. Ooh, we have 2 Spore Crawlers fully set and dressed up right now. One of them is going to move to the natural base so that any late game harass from drops or even from Hellbat drops, which I highly doubt will come out since we see a Siege Tank coming out. It's actually a very Wings of Liberty-esque play coming from Apocalypse, but hey, it still works. If you don't like Widowmines, Siege Marine still pretty powerful in Heart of the Swarm, and there are definitely some damage at CVs over here. Likely to see a 4th base coming out of the Zerg. Now he sees this 3rd base coming down. This Banshee's going to clean up this Zealot, and it looks like we're going for the Banshee Hellion. Guess we're not going to go for the... Yeah, no, he's not producing any more Banshees. He actually doesn't have any medevacs, so he's going to definitely be doing some pressure pretty soon. Because he's not going to want to wait for super many medevacs. It's a great Widowmine right there, going to be able to pick off the Zergling. Did the Zerglings... I think the Zerglings saw that whole army, and the more Zerglings are going to be putting on pressure before he takes his 4th base. You can just see that the bank is pretty high right now for Hope. Not using it to its full effectiveness. If he were going for Roach Hydra, like it looks like he's going to do, but he doesn't actually have any of the units on the map. You can see he's just using Zerglings right now. He's upgrading... Oh, okay. He's not using Roach Hydra. He's getting Glio Reconstitution, but he's not building any Roaches until then. If he sees this coming across the map, he will actually from the Zelnaga Watchtower, and we have a hidden Siege Tank in the medevac. That's actually pretty cool. You can see the production is going pretty crazy. The army value is definitely in Apocalypse's favor, and he's going to start doing some serious damage to this, because there is no static defense right here. It's all Zerglings, no Banelings. Baneling nest is still being constructed. He's gonna siege up his tanks right now. Gonna be able to hit those Zerglings very easily. He's probably expecting some Banelings, but he's not even gonna see any. We're gonna do a little bit of a tank leapfrog right now and do some damage to the friendly fire, and that queen is definitely gonna go down. Look at the bench. He's gonna be able to take out these queens while the Marines protect everything from the Zerglings. One siege tank does go down, but there's so much damage being done right now. 2 queens have fallen. Look at how many drones are gonna fall. You just see the damage is being seriously done against Hope, and the 3rd does go down. He's building a new one right now. It's about to complete in the top left. Is he sending his drones there? No, he's oversaturated. Oh yes, he did. But if Apocalypse decides to move into the natural, he could do some serious damage, but we're not going to see any we don't see any medevacs in this group right now. It looks like he's going to have a flank with a couple of Banelings and a whole lot of Zerglings, and he's going to be able to clean this up pretty well. They can stim all they want, but they're going to take extra damage from the Zerglings if they stim too much. You can see they're killing a lot, but the Banelings aren't being killed quick enough, and there's no chance for that second Baneling hit to not do the damage. And now that what am I saying? The Marines, when they stim too much, that 39 damage against biological was going to do some serious hits. If they had been at full health and then stimmed, they would have survived the first Baneling hit, and those Banelings wouldn't have done as much damage. But since they were already damaged and then they stimmed, there was definitely, the splash was doing as much damage as needed to kill off them pretty well. But Apocalypse did do some great splits just to maximize the units lost of his opponent by making the Banelings few and far between. He reduced the number of Banelings that are coming at him across the map right now. He probably could have had almost double this if Apocalypse had not actually split his Marines. And we're going to see the first Muta harass coming in from Hope, but we already have a missile turret here, and this is actually pretty late Muta harass. It's taken him a long time to get to this since he did so much Zergling. Oh my god, would you look at the supplies, 120 to 164, damage coming in at the 3rd base, just a single drop. Great positioning is going to be able to do plenty of damage, and you can just see that the workers killed for Apocalypse is through the roof compared to Hope's. Now finally cleaned up, he's got that medevac still, and the 3rd is going to be redenied, but you can look how many mutas are getting killed right now by Marines. You do not want to attack into this. If he were able to... He did save that 4th hatchery, but he is going to be on fewer bases than the Terran. Pretty soon, the Terran's economy is almost fully in store. Yeah, it's going. Both have 70 harvesters. Their economies are at full swing, and the Terran's production is obviously much better than the Zergs. You can see that the units lost is heavily in Hope's favor, and Hope doesn't really have a whole lot of hope right now. He's taking his 4th base is just finished up, and his main is about to be mined out, so those drones are going to have almost nowhere to go. The creep is not connecting everywhere, and his creep spread is pretty good, but it's not super awesome. No flyer upgrades for his mutas, so that means if you go for the armor, they're going to last longer against these Marines and against the missile turrets. But if you go for that attack, they can do some heavier harass by attacking the buildings. Actually, one of the lesser used Terran upgrades against Muta attack is that building armor. You wouldn't believe how much longer missile turrets last against smaller groups of Mutas with building armor, because their glaives are completely knocked out, and they just do almost a 1/3 less damage when they're unupgraded, like the Mutas from our Zerg player R. He is actually doing the Ultralisk switch pretty early. I mean, normally you would do it on a 4th base, but since he has got only 4 bases and the Terran is taking a 4th and his supply is so low, I would kind of expect him to keep pressuring Apocalypse so that he could actually get to max before losing a few of his units and switching. But it looks like he's going to try to get those. Oh great, 2 Thors is all you really need against the smaller number of mutas that are out of our Zerg player right now. Plenty of Marines, just a couple Marauders but plenty of tanks and Marauders going to kill whatever few number of Ultralisks come out right now. Great sniping by these Mulisks, which he's already losing 3 of them before the Zerglings and the Banelings even get in. Great hits by the Banelings. He's got nowhere to spread, but the tanks are doing their damage against. Look at that, 10 kills, and 20 kills on that tank, doing all they want against this. Look at this. The siege tanks are doing their damnedest to kill off these ultras. The ultras are dying, so are the Thors, but you can just see how many medevacs are still here. If you put in a couple of corruptors, always going to go for the drop in the main base. Or is he just going to put him behind the mineral line, kill off a few more drones, and the supplies have evened out. But if you look at the banks in the top right, the Terran has plenty to remax pretty quickly. He's also doing that drop, also kept the Zerg in his base, so he couldn't do any counter pressure. And now these medevacs, one of them picking up a Thor, very awesome, are coming back. And this is actually not a planetary fortress, so any Ling run by can do some serious damage over here, especially against these weakened SCVs, and the mules do not fight at all. So we're gonna have a nice drop, just three drop. Is he gonna do a multi-prong drop, or is he just going to, yeah, he's gonna do a multi-prong drop. He's gonna send 2 off into the top. He's gonna drop his next one, probably either down here or in this third base, which is not fully saturated. You can see it's only 12 of 24, and the Ultra switch is almost completed. We have the chitinous plating going, Zerg Carapace level 3. The Zerglings and Banelings, as you saw, have just done the damage I mentioned. Look at that, 51 workers killed by our Zerg player, and the harvester count is down to 59 from 73, and he's not producing any more SCVs at this point. He can just go for mules. If he's got an extra, he could put 2 more command centers down right here and do some serious damage. But it looks like these 2 drops were defeated by the small number of by all of the ground forces. But you can see the multi-prong. Oh, he did a Thor drop. That is tremendous, just getting them across the map that quickly. He's going to be able to snipe this hatchery before he has to pick up and go. They have that extra health, and look at that, he even gets away from the broodlings that come out of the building. That is terrific. I've actually never seen that. That is something that you probably only see from on a European game. Hope is a European player. He does, in my experience and watching esports, the Europeans have the craziest builds, and it looks like, oh, he's even pulling some SCVs. He's going to go for the serious damage. He's always going to use them to heal the Thors that he's got right now. Are they actually on? They're not on auto repair yet. They can't heal each other, and we've got the medevacs here to heal the SCVs if needed, and we've got a decent split going on. There are no doing a little bit of scan for any Baneling landmines that are coming around. Great infestor count coming around. They don't have full energy, so they're not going to be as prevalent in the damage that they can do, but we can see that there's going to be a snipe on this hatchery, and he's got a great concave for anything coming up this ramp. You can see that the Ultras and the Banelings are leading right through here. There are no fungals before the Banelings got in, so that the fungals are doing the damage right now. The infestors are going to start taking some serious damage. 1 of them down, 2, 3, 4 of them down already. Ultras are dying to the few count of Marauders. Big lift up because there's nothing here. The fungals have already been used. The medevacs have free reign in the main base if you could just drop them. And we have another drop over here, a snipe of the 4th base. It looks like Apocalypse is going to be taking this game very quickly. The Zerg is just running across the map trying to go for a base race. He's going to bring him back right here away from the infestors because he figured that they were going to come across. They have a boost available, and the Zerg is indeed going across the map. You can see how weak his Ultras are, and he's going to lose 3 of them very quickly in whatever engagement happens. Huge hit by that Widow Mine, 31 kills. He's going to lose a couple of Harvesters, but he's already got the much better economy, even with pulling all those SCVs. Oh, wow. I guess not. We're going to have a decent base race going on right now. We have 2 medevacs right here. We have big drop in the main. We have these SCVs actually doing some damage. What, they're gonna kill the queen. That is terrific. The tech over here is very vulnerable. He's actually gonna try to supply cap him. Not actually gonna work, but the reinforcements from our Terran player are gonna be able to hold off his natural and main base. The lifted command center, he can just drop that and put down a couple mules when he wants to. Just leaving a that Zergling is not gonna see anything right there. That's actually not too great. Big fungal on the remnants of the Terran army. These 2 are both playing very low econ, long distance mining with 40 drones from our Zerg player, and trying to get a base down for our Terran player, making up a couple SCVs. Nope, just gonna keep muling from here on out. He did not build any more command centers. He's only got the 4 orbital commands. There are no planetaries. If he had a planetary at this one, he probably wouldn't have lost as many SCVs as he did. But the Terran still has the supply lead in this, and we're seeing that it's a bigger army because he's got 15 less supply, or 15 less harvesters. So the army is definitely in the Terran's favor with double that of the Zerg. Zerg is going to continue to harass this third base, but Hope, oh man, he's a lost hope. He's the parody of the new. Dang, I can't even say we're gonna have another drop over here from the Terran. He's a lost hope, a parody of the Star Wars with Anakin. What's it called? Phantom Menace. Yeah, that's what it's called. Very, very old parody, but very funny because it's just that stupid. Wow, I think we're just having a waiting game right here. The Infestors did what they can, but they didn't get anywhere. I think there were too many turrets everywhere. He's able to deny this base. He's probably going to throw down 1 or 2 maybe infested Terrans, but we're going to have a pretty decent push over here to the third base of our Terran player, the only one that's mining. It's getting muled out very quickly. He's got to finish this game before he has to take another base. But if he does, he can just move over to this one, and continue to mine there if all else fails, and he continues to mine out that 4th base. We have had extremely long distance mining for our Zerg player right now. You can see how low his income is, 100 versus 1800, and a drop right now is going to continue to take out all these drones. They're not going to be able to mine. This hatchery is going to get sniped. Unfortunately for the Zerg player, his units were out of position. You can see the Terran has got plenty. Oh, great infestor drop right now. But this hatchery is going to continue to be. He's spent too much time microing those infestors. He's got nothing here to stop the medevac from picking off, and the orbital command gets away. How many workers have we had killed? Both players close to 100. 33 kills on the Widow Mine. That hatchery was destroyed, and the Terran is remaxed with this huge army. And I just don't think he knows that the kind of advantage he's got right now. If he, look at that, from the high ground, sniping this infestation pit. It's not like he has, well, I guess he does only have gas. He can like a ton of infestors, but he has not. He's got to keep all of his minerals. This is such a weird game, guys. I'm sorry if I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen next, but I think what's just going to happen next is eventually Apocalypse is going to get back up to max, and he's just going to decide to stop doing drops and go for that main push when he realizes how far ahead he really is. If he had done some creep cleanup and kept at this Zelnaga watchtower, he would know that he's so far ahead he could just come in there and mop up before the Zerg has anything it can do. What is his vision? Yeah, he should know that he's on 2 bases, none of which have minerals, and he's down to 20. He's got even less harvesters than the Terran does right now. You just see, come on, Apocalypse, you can do it, man. Just go take him out. You do it. Now he's doing the creep cleanup. He's being very passive, but very, very safe. It's actually not. You know, I'm talking like he should move across the map, but the way he's playing this game is kind of a guaranteed win. As well, re-stimming. Wow, just double stim on these. He's going to see the very few units that are coming out from our Zerg player, and I hope he's encouraged by that. We still have this one drop going on. This medevac has plenty of energy, but really nothing going on. The Zerglings, so many drops going on. I think he's spending too much time with the drops, and he's got a huge amount back home. He's just going for the heavy macro buildup. He's building up 2 more command centers. Now, you know what? I take it back. Apocalypse doesn't need to do anything. What Hope needs to do is tap out. Anybody who's been off a base this long, he's not even mining. Now he goes. Should just GG. And look at that. Perfect timing. The Terran is just going to come and kill off a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more harvesters have been lost by our Zerg player. He's got no income. He's got less than 50. Okay, I'm sorry. He's got 260 a minute. But that's when all of his... Oh wow, that is a great play. His Infestor's still doing damage, but they're not doing enough. He saw that he's on 2 bases and he says just GG. And that, sorry guys for the very slow ending to that game, but that is game 2. Apocalypse leading the way for Quantic Gaming, taking 2 games to MouseSports 0. He's going to be playing Mana in his 3rd game coming up next on Chaotic TV. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers.